What if I told you your biggest weaknesses, those parts of yourself you've been hiding, suppressing, or even ashamed of, are actually your secret superpowers? Imagine that. The very things you've been trying to bury might just be the keys to unlocking your true strength. Did you know that about 80% of people admit to actively suppressing parts of their true selves? We spend so much energy trying to hide what we think is bad or unacceptable. We wear all these masks. But what if embracing those shadow parts could transform your life? Today, I'm going to share what I wish I knew about my shadow self before it held me back. Because when you reclaim those hidden parts, you tap into a level of authenticity and power that you never thought was possible. Let's start with some modern psychology. Look, I'm not a psychologist. I'm just really curious and interested in all of this stuff. The concept of the shadow self comes from Carl Jung, who taught us that the parts of ourselves we reject don't just disappear. They live in the shadows. They don't go away, influencing our thoughts, emotions, and behaviors without us even realizing it. Have a little think of that. So when we deny these parts, we create cognitive dissonance. And that, my friends, is a mental conflict between who we think we are and who we actually are. This dissonance drains our energy and clouds our clarity. And a lot of the time we are acting or playing a part or a role and we forget who we truly are. Look, I've been a health professional for decades, since I was 17 or 18 years old. But here's the breakthrough. Integrating your shadow reduces that dissonance. So if you're feeling out of alignment, maybe this is going on. So it brings those hidden parts into light, allowing you to accept yourself fully. This acceptance creates mental clarity and emotional freedom. You stop fighting yourself and start working with yourself. And that is such a beautiful place to be in, where you can just be you. You have so many gifts, you have so many things to offer to the world, and you don't even realize it. Now, neuroscience, another one of my huge passions. We're going to talk about neuroscience and self-acceptance. When you accept all parts of yourself, and look, it's taken me a long time to accept all parts of myself, including the shadow, your brain literally rewires. Self-acceptance activates neural pathways associated with resilience and creativity. When you feel lost and down and you just are stuck, it's because your creative side has not been out in the open, It calms your amygdala, the brain's fear center. And we know we're all wired to run from bears and tigers. And what this does is it reduces anxiety and your defensive reactions. At the same time, it also strengthens connections in your prefrontal cortex, which is like a battery. It's got 20 minutes of focusing time, the area responsible for decision-making and emotional regulation. So if you are exhausted and you haven't recharged, you are not functioning at your optimum. This rewiring means you're not just mentally stronger, but you are neurologically stronger. It's a muscle. You become more adaptable, more creative, and more able to handle life's challenges with grace and more ease. You can make some difficult decisions quicker and better. So what happens when you stop fighting parts of yourself? I can tell you from experience, it is way easier than pretending. Confidence and creativity surge. When you stop labeling parts of yourself as bad or wrong, not good enough, self-doubt creeps in. You reclaim the energy you used to spend hiding or resisting. And where your energy goes, your energy flows. We all know that. That energy transforms into fuel for growth and innovation. If this is the first time you're hearing all this, listen closely. Stop right here because you need to listen to me. There's a time in your life that comes. Look, it could be the midlife crisis. It could be before then. For me, it took about 5-6 years for me to get to this. It's not even a finale, but this next step of where I am. And I help men or women, couples to absolutely embrace that and to enjoy the journey and to get there way quicker than me. So I want you to apply for mentorship.com, watch more videos, subscribe, just watch and devour as much as you can and then take action. That's the most important part. When you stop labeling parts of yourself as bad or wrong, you reclaim the energy you used to spend hiding or resisting. And that energy transforms into fuel for growth and innovation. I've seen this in my own life and in countless others that I've helped. People who embrace their shadow report feeling more authentic, more alive, and more connected to their purpose. They are being fully them. They become unstoppable. All these people you see who are successful, right? Because they're no longer fragmented, they are whole. When you are whole, you perform better. You live a much fuller life. Now, how do you start this shadow audit? Usually there's an awakening, okay? You notice what triggers you. The qualities in others that irritate or upset you often point to parts of yourself that you've disowned. That's why we get triggered. It's a mirror. People are a mirror of us. So next time you get triggered, think, well, how does this apply to me? And what is this bringing up to the surface that maybe I've hidden in the shadows? Next, I want you to journal honestly about these traits. So every time it happens, ask yourself, what am I afraid to admit about myself? And what stories have I been telling to keep these parts hidden? Because we all tell ourselves stories. I told myself a story, right? Go to uni, be a pharmacist, be a dentist, be a mom, business owner, and that's where life ends. No, that doesn't happen. So your path is your path. That was my path for that time. I then want you to practice self-compassion. Remember that your shadow developed as a survival mechanism. It protected you in the ways you might not have understood or realized at the time. When you look back, things are way clearer. Finally, take small actions to integrate these parts. Maybe it's expressing a suppressed emotion, having a conversation with someone, setting a boundary you avoided, or embracing a creative impulse you ignored. You know, when I was younger, I did lots of art and music, and then all of a sudden I hit 18, went to university, and all that stopped. What do you think that did to my psyche? What do you think that did to my whole soul? You get busy doing other things and you forget the core of who you are. Your shadow self is not your enemy. It is your untapped power source, and you need to tap back into that. And that's what I've done over the last 5 years. And you just see my evolution. If you've followed me over the last 5 years, you see my evolution. And when you reclaim it as well, you don't just survive, but you grow in ways you don't even realize. You become a new person. Your identity, who you embody and what you stand for, absolutely uplift. Now, I'm not telling you to go and change your identity. No. What I'm saying is be honest and be open to what other life lies ahead for you. Look, I'm 43. I've probably lived half my life and I want the next half to be freaking awesome. I sacrificed a lot. I did a lot of soul searching, a lot of self-searching, a lot of shadow work. I didn't realize it was shadow work, right? There's a name for it. But it was a time where I became curious, where I was awakened and aware that surely there must be a better way. And you might be right there now. So hit pause on the video once you've listened to this. Applyformentorship.com, that's where you need to go. Hit pause now and stop hiding, start owning, and watch how your life transforms when you become whole. Because mine has, and I'm really here to help you do the same. It does wonders for all parts of you, your relationships, mainly with yourself and then with your significant other. If you're ready to take that next step, hit like, subscribe, and share your experience in the comments. Let's grow strong together. Applyformentorship.com. It is your time. There's no better time than right now. Applyformentorship.com.